Well, pre-Principles, I was taught to listen to people, to clients. I was taught I needed to be aware of their body language, where their eyes were looking, as to what parts of the brain and experience they were accessing. I was taught to listen to the tone of the voice and how that changed and the way they were saying things. And the funny thing is that before I was a coach, everyone used to come to me because I was such a good listener. And then when I was doing it for a living, I don't know if I was listening as well. I was getting a really good description of what was going on with their mental activity and what their beliefs were and how they were kind of feeling, but my listening got worse. And the reason now, the post-prison, what's the reason is I had more in my mind and less presence with them. And so what I do differently now with clients is that I'm just with them. There's not interested in where their eyes are looking, not interested in their body language. I'm not interested in me trying to help them or how I can help them. I'm not interested in what I'm thinking. It's almost like falling into this mindless state of just being with the person with no agenda. And then when you're not trying to fix somebody or understand somebody, when there's less on your mind, you have more creative potential to help the person, because you're not going to come up with your own theories or beliefs or what you've done in the past. You come up with a fresh, in the moment insight from the creative source behind life to show you what to do, to show you how to help them. It's the difference between trying to find information in a laptop, in the laptop's hard drive, to connecting to the internet and having innumerable information at your fingertips. And so when there's not much of you present is presence. Presence is present. And that is so much more powerful than you are. And I know I'm not saying anything new, because as a therapist or coach or psychologist, I mean, all of these professionals have experience of not really knowing why they've said something, but saying it and then it changing people's life. I can almost guarantee when somebody said or did something that really helped somebody, it came through this creative spirit most of the time. And so with my own clients now, I can honestly say that it sounds a bit bizarre, but when I'm with them, I have such a tremendous feeling of love for them. Like, regardless of who they are, what sex they are, how old they are, it's this feeling of connection with them to a degree that is almost like no separation between me and them. I feel that I am them. There's no boundaries. And when I'm just present with them, it almost like wakes them up to their own presence. And they start seeing the thought constructed reality that they are uniquely living in themselves. They see beyond their insecurities, beyond their fears, beyond their issues, to the logic and the formless energy behind how they're creating it, and then it falls away. It's a bit like if you've got a deck of cards all stacked up, where in the past I'll be working on the top one, trying to knock that issue off the deck. The Principles is a bit like grabbing the desk that all the cards are stacked up on and shaking it and then what happens is they all kind of wobble a bit, and then they fall over, and then there's no issues. When I say no issues is, of course we're going to have issues, and we're going to have fears. That's the nature of being human. But what can happen is that people start to see the source behind how they're creating those things. And then the thinking could come up. For instance, if I see someone who, I don't know, has a fear of flying, just take an example. Instead of working on that fear, that issue, is they start seeing that their fear is, wow, oh my God, I'm creating it via my thinking. I'm creating this thought constructed reality, and I'm living out of it. When they see that, they can start flying again, and it's not as if they're going to go on an airplane and never have fearful thoughts, okay? But what will happen in most cases is that they catch what they're thinking and thinking, oh my goodness, I'm having a fearful thought. Rather than, I am definitely going to die, the plane is going to crash. They catch it as thought. And what I mean by that is they start seeing the inside-out nature of the creative life that we live via our thinking. You start seeing out there as thought created rather than something that isn't in your thinking. And when clients start to really see this universal foundation that is creating every issue or fear or worry, indeed all the happiness and well-being and love as well in their lives, when they see the flaw of their mind, that is so much more useful than working on a particular issue. I don't know if you can see this, but as an analogy, if you've got like a room that's almost dark, a lot of what I was doing before would get a torchlight and shine on a particular thing, like an issue, but everything else around it is still dark, so you can't really see what's there. The Principles doesn't use torches. It basically has a dimmer switch, and you turn the light up, and so you start seeing the entire room. You start seeing coherent light where everything starts lighting up in your life. That's why that when I work with clients, they may come for a particular issue, or they may even come to understand the principles deeper in a particular area. But I can almost guarantee that when they see the foundation, it affects their love life, their relationships, their finances, their health, their job, because you're literally turning the light up holistically over their entire lives. And so, from a coaching perspective, it's not just about helping people have a better headspace. It's for them to see the logic of how they're creating their headspace. And with that logic, they fall into everything they've ever wanted. And the best thing for me, the best thing for me, is that not only do they get over issues, but they get kinder. They have more compassion, they're less judgmental, they have more love. It's bringing humanity, true humanity, back to the heart of people. It's not just working with the mind. It's helping a person's heart beat truer and deeper. And for me, that's the greatest gift in the world.